Someone asked me to explain what's happening in what we would call meditative absorption. So let's discuss this meditative absorption. It's this experience where you feel like you are stepping into something, merging with something greater than yourself, that you are taken over, that you are absorbed by something. It has this feeling like you step in or you relax back into it. Something surrounds you. You're absorbed by something greater. It has this feeling like you're in a big bubble, that your bubble is getting bigger. It's this expansive experience. It has this feeling like you're melting into it or dissolving into it. That the attention widens, relaxes, opens. And for some, at first it can feel scary. There can be fear that arises because you have this belief of being this separate form and the attention is very focused and narrowed. It may feel like you live somewhere in the head, and that's where the center of your experience feels like it is. And then it might feel like literally like your brain or your head is expanding outward. This attention starts widening. And once it starts feeling like it's bigger than the body, this fear can arise. It's really this relaxing of attention. As the attention is relaxing, this identification with just this specific form is also being let go of. So that's why it has this experience of expansion, this relaxation of attention. Goes from feeling so contracted, the contraction of the attention is now being relaxed. And as it relaxes, it has this expansive feeling to it. And it kind of feels like you step into something, or you step back into something that feels much greater. Almost feeling like you go for a swim in the ocean. You're entering the ocean. Before the meditative absorption, you felt like you were sitting on the sand, sitting on the beach. And then it kind of feels like you slowly step into the ocean. You wade out into the ocean. It feels like you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you start floating. And you become so relaxed floating in the ocean that then even the border of the body and the ocean, there's no separation. It just feels like you're one with the ocean. And then it feels like that meditative absorption ends and you come walking out of the ocean feeling so refreshed. And then you have this feeling, I want to do that again. I want to go back in the ocean. So what's really happening is this attention is relaxing. The attention that's contracted and identified with an object, mainly this body-mind, is relaxing. And as it relaxes, just like this hand relaxes, it's letting go of that limited identification. It's letting go of its limitations. It's as if it's this hand appearing as a fist. It's relaxing, letting go of the limited identification as the fist. But what it has been the whole time was a hand appearing to be a fist. Much like the ocean appearing to be the wave. The wave is an appearance, but that wave is made of the ocean. So this experience of going into meditative absorption, how we typically may refer to it as, I entered meditative absorption. It's not what it seems to be. It's not you that's entering, not you as a person that's entering meditative absorption. It's really the relaxing of identification as a person. And it's letting go of that limitation, that limited identification as a person, as this body mind, as this form. Letting go of that limited form and coming back to its limitless nature. The ego, which is an activity and not an entity, is a lot like an afterthought. There's this experience that spontaneously happens. And it typically happens when you are relaxed. When you're relaxed, you start feeling more spacious and expansive and open. And it feels like your border has been dissolved. And this may happen literally at a beach, in a park, walking your dog, painting, gardening, washing the car, cutting the grass. It can happen anywhere. It doesn't need to happen in some sort of traditional meditation posture, position. And the experience is that you're simply one with everything. That it's not like you're a person sitting in the sand at the beach, experiencing the water. You're just simply everything. There's the sound of the waves, the sound of the tide coming in and out, sound of seagulls, sound of the wind, sound of kids playing. There's the feeling of the warmth of the sun. There's the smell of the salt in the air, the ocean breeze. There's the feeling of the sand underneath the feet. But all of this is non-local. You're no longer just this limited form. In a big picture, you're the entire picture. You go from being a person in a scenery to being the entire scenery. You don't feel separate. Everything feels like it's zero distance. It's very intimate. It's the most intimate, actually. Oneness is the ultimate intimacy. So it kind of feels like you just slip into this meditative absorption state. And if you join our meditations, you actually experience this effortlessly. That if you just simply relax, the focus becomes relaxed. There's this defocusing and this feeling of retreating back or relaxing back. And as it relaxes back, this is the attention relaxing back. It's letting go of its limitation and expanding. It keeps on expanding, keeps on. And you just feel like you're absorbed in something greater than you. Absorption's a good word. Immersion is a good word, that you feel like you're immersed in something. Something just takes over. There's no thoughts. There's just the rawness, the raw reality. There's no experiencer and an experience. There's just simply experiencing. It's an impersonal experiencing. So like I was saying about the ego not being an entity, but more of an activity, it's a lot like this afterthought that comes after what we could say is this experience, where then it creates this thought of me as a person, I've stepped into this state. Me as a person, I went into this state and I came out of this state. Me as the person, I enjoy that meditation. Me as the person, I'm in the meditation and now I'm out of the meditation. But if you look at this closely, in that experience of what we are calling meditative absorption or meditative immersion or meditation, we see that actually this person that we are saying has entered that state and came out of that state, that's not what it appears to be. It's really the personing has temporarily come to an end. The activity of personing has come to a rest. Because in that experience of the meditative absorption, there's no experience of a person. It's not like the person is in the meditation enjoying something called meditation. It's more so that one's replaced with the other. Your experience of always thinking of yourself, this is my past, this is my future, I'm trying to achieve this and that, cross this off my to-do list. I got to try and achieve this, work to that, dwelling on the past, referencing the past, making decisions for the future. All of that just has come to an end temporarily. Because in the experience of that meditative absorption, you don't know your name. You don't have a past. You don't have a future. All of that simply has been let go of. So like I said, it's this letting go of those limitations. It's that process of identification. Identification is a process. That process, that activity of identifying as something has simply come to a rest. So as the attention relaxes, It's letting go of the limitation. It's relaxing, just the same way as you relax into sleep, right? Sleep, you're saying sleep is rest. So you relax into rest. The attention is relaxing, and it's returning to rest. Now, rest is what you are. Rest is what you are. So it's let go of personing, that activity of personing, and you're simply resting as presence. That's what you are. It's not like a person is entering presence. It's not like the person is enjoying presence. It's not like the person steps into presence and steps out of presence. The person is a process. That process just simply comes to a temporary rest. And what you are actually experiencing is your true nature. What you are actually experiencing is yourself. It's not that there's two. It's not that there's a person enjoying something else. It's not that the person is experiencing happiness in the meditation. It's not that the person is experiencing freedom in the meditation. It's not that the person is experiencing love in the meditation. It's not that the person is experiencing peace in the meditation. The love, the happiness, the peace, the freedom, that's your true nature. That's what you are. You're tasting your true nature. You are experiencing yourself. You're experiencing yourself when that activity of identifying with the person simply comes to a temporary rest. Like I said, often what we do, it's this afterthought. It's the identification is very quick to start up again, where it imagines that it was like there was a person present experiencing the happiness, like there was a person that was experiencing the love, the peace, the freedom. But you just simply observe that experience. There was no person. The person was absent. You start seeing that when the person is absent, you are experiencing happiness. It's a lot like one's replaced with the other. Really, the happiness is always present. It's just obscured by this identification with being something. It's really the thought and feeling activity that seems to just not even cover, just distract us from our true nature in a way. But then this then creates another obstacle, because typically when we get a taste of our true nature, it then becomes another goal for the person to experience that meditative state again. How do I get back there? How do I get into that? How do I stay there longer? Well, the person didn't go anywhere. They're not going into a state. The person's not traveling somewhere. The person can't stay there longer. What's happening is that identification as a person has just simply relaxed and let go of temporarily. And then it starts back up. And then by creating that meditative absorption as another goal now, a new goal. How do I get back there? How do I taste that again? How do I stay there longer? How do I hold on to it? Well, that effort is the opposite of what needs to happen, because you only experienced yourself by relaxing the effort. It's those moments when the effort becomes effortless, when that stress is relaxed, that attention is relaxed. The attention becomes a relaxation. So you can see that when this becomes a new goal to strive and work towards, it actually is the obstacle, because all of that effort and trying is what we can say prevents or blocks that experience from happening again. Once you start realizing that it's about relaxing, the attention is relaxing. As it relaxes, it feels like it comes back. It's letting go of the identification with an object, the body-mind, and it's returning back to the subject, which is you. That's why that experience of meditative absorption is a very unique experience, because it's a subjective experience. It's non-objective. You aren't experiencing an object. It's the subject experiencing the subject. It's you experiencing yourself. So by being aware of this, I don't know where the question came from, but by being aware of this and looking closely, you start becoming aware of how this person is coming and going, how this person process is actually coming to an end. Once this meditative absorption, once you start, I gotta say it like this, getting the hang of relaxing, once this relaxation starts happening more and more, you find yourself that you're just simply relaxing into rest. You're relaxing into yourself. You're letting go of the doing and your being. You're just, this attention is just more easily, and it's happening faster, coming back to its limitless nature. It's resting in itself. What you start noticing is that there's more, it's hard to speak about like this, there's more time where you are without the personing happening. There's more, every time you're simply resting as yourself, you're not active with the personing process. You're not identifying. That's the process. That's the activity. That activity has ceased temporarily, and you're simply resting as yourself. So you really start seeing how temporary this person is. You really start seeing how illusionary it is. It's very flaky. It's like a flaky friend. They show up sometimes. This person is only showing up sometimes. You'll start noticing that it's showing up around other people. It feels like certain situations, there's a lot of this person. The person feels very solid. mainly around your significant other, family, friends, close friends, people. And you might notice that you just go for a walk in the forest, you just relax, and all of a sudden you feel very relaxed and expansive. You feel that attention widen. You feel like it comes back, like it's retreating. It steps back. Feels more open and spacious. And that walk in the forest for maybe a half an hour or an hour, it's like, where'd the problems go? There was no problems. There's no conflict. There was no unhappiness. There was no dissatisfaction. There was no commenting, narrating. There was no one that was suffering. No sense of bondage, limitation. No sense of separation. You just felt like you're one with the forest. And all that happened for what you would, in the experience, you would lose total track of time. So you wouldn't even know that an hour passed. It would only be after you check your watch or your phone or something and go, wow, that walk was an hour. It didn't even feel like an hour. If you explore that, you realize that the person was absent for an hour. That personing wasn't happening. So you start seeing in your direct experience these big gaps day to day where this person is showing up less and less. There's this feeling that this person is dissolving or thinning out. We could say thinning out. It's a good image here, that this person is like a covering and it's thinning out. And as it thins out, you're experiencing more of yourself. That more of yourself is shining through. It seems to be shining through this person. The person feels more thinner, like they're transparent. More of these inherent qualities, we can call them. Patience, humility, humor, kindness, compassion, happiness. These creativity, intelligence, these qualities just start shining through more so. It's almost like they're transcendent qualities. They feel very natural because it's our true nature, and this is then just being expressed through, because that person is it's thin. Those thoughts and feelings, the identification with the thoughts and feelings is very loose. It feels like this person's more loose. They're not so identified. You can see that there's some that are very tight. Very solid of a person, very solid of a sense of me. And there's others that it seems to be looser, not a strong sense of me. So the stronger this sense of me as a person, the less you experience your true nature. The less you feel this solidness of a sense of me as a person, then the more you experience your true nature, the more you're resting as that. So just using this experience of the meditative absorption, it's, if you haven't already noticed it, it's just bringing awareness to this process. The person is not a object, but it's a process. It's not an entity, it's an activity. It's always changing, it's always moving. And I'm simply pointing out that it's actually appearing and disappearing. It's coming and it's going. It's starting and it's stopping. So how could this be you? How could it be you if it's starting and stopping? What's aware of it starting and stopping? That must be more you than something that's starting and stopping. You, the awareness that's aware of something showing up sometimes. Oh, the person that I think I am, it just kind of disappeared for the last hour. Yeah, but that's still me. How? How is it you? If it disappeared for a whole hour and you were experiencing its disappearance. You, that which is experiencing the disappearance, the absence of the person. How can the person be you if you are what is experiencing the absence of the person? And this doesn't just happen in the meditative absorption. It literally happens every night during the sleep state. The person is absent. In the sleep state, there's no person. And you can confirm that for yourself. Is there an experience of a person in the sleep state? No. Now, why is it that you can confirm that? How can you be the person if you're confirming its absence during the sleep state? That means that you are present and the person is absent. That which you take yourself to be, the person, you are noticing that it's gone. It's absent. You must be the one that's present. So it's you that's watching this person appear and disappear. It doesn't actually step into this thing that we're calling meditative absorption. It never goes into the ocean. It may feel like it from that perspective of identified as a person. But when you start seeing it clearly as it is, you see that it's actually the temporary cessation of the activity of personing. It's when that activity comes to a rest, just the same way it does at night when you sleep. You're a person throughout the entire day. 14, 16, 18 hours of personing. So much effort. And then it's as if you get tired and you start feeling at nighttime that personing process start to unwind. It's so tense. You just want to unwind, want to relax. Relaxes, and you relax into sleep. You relax into rest. That which you call sleep is rest. You relax into yourself. You let go of that activity. That activity just ceases to be. You let go of the person. It's like you say goodbye. You say goodbye to the person. In deep sleep, you don't know your name. You don't know your age. There's no problems. There's no memory, no history, no past. You let go of your goals, your ambitions, your desires. Person activity starts up in the morning. My to-do list, it's right there, and then you get to it. You pick up all the problems of yesterday. They continue today. So like this, you start seeing how it's actually an activity, and it's always changing. This person that you are identified as, it's always changing. You're not the same person that you were 10 years ago, right? People change, but there's something about you that feels like it's not changing. What is that? That's what you are. What you are is unchanging. It is you, the awareness that's unchanging, that's aware of the person changing. This person is a process, and a process is change. Change is movement. You're aware of this movement, this change, this activity. You're observing it. And now you're becoming aware when this activity relaxes and rests. So what you're aware of is actually the attention. The attention is contracted, it's narrowed, it's tight, it's short, and it relaxes, widens, lengthens, it opens, creating this feeling of expansion. Contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion. It felt so contracted before the meditative absorption, and then it felt expansive. It felt so tight, and then I felt relaxed, loose. I felt so closed, and then I felt open. The focus was so narrowed, and then it widened. You are beyond that. Even that is an activity that you are aware of. You are aware of the activity of attention. As subtle as attention is, you are beyond it. It's you that's aware of the differences between non-meditation state and meditation state. You are aware of that contrast. So next time you have this experience, like I said, if you want to experience this more, experience what we are explaining, exploring in this video, then I invite you to our group meditations each week to experience this directly. But as you continue to explore this in your experience of what you're calling meditative absorption, then explore it more thoroughly. It'll start becoming more and more clear to you. But what's actually happening? You start realizing what is aware of the happening. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.